And we're live. That's the magic.
Okay. So, I don't know. Do you have a list of questions?
Video live. I think guys will be joining. So, live stream. Oh, one person is watching. Hi. Oh, no, it's the Eddie Hub. Oh, yeah, no, two watchers. Привет всем. Заходите, пишите комментарии, что вы тут. Мы подождем пару минут и начнем. Дадим вам время появиться, посмотреть на нас. Если хотите, пока пишите комментарии, мы можем о чем-то поговорить, пока ждем всех остальных. Может, какие-то вопросы, которые вас сразу же интересуют. Не стесняйтесь, пишите комментарии. К сожалению, присоединить вас я не могу к лайвкасту, а вот выслушать вас в комментариях с удовольствием. Я вижу ваши комментарии рядом с собой. Sure. Yeah, they're like going in and going out. 6 viewers.
6 viewers.
Yeah, that's cool. And we have one like.
One like.
Yeah, from Tatiana. Nice.
Oh, Tatiana, who has joined breakfast and dinners, right?
Is she Tatiana Homenko? I don't know for sure.
Oh.
And Svetlana, thanks for the like. Спасибо за лайк, Светлана. So, итак, нас смотрит уже 8 человек. Напишите что-то в комментариях, вот 10 уже. Пишем что-то в комментариях, пока мы ждем всех остальных. Я думаю, мы начнем каст через 15:05, когда все подтянутся. Дадим им немного времени. Пока что мы можем свободно поговорить с вами о чем угодно. Вот. Или можем продолжить общаться с Мэттом на английском. Hi.
Hello.
Hello, Светлана. Thanks for, how it's called, поприветствовать нас.
Oh.
Thanks for greeting us.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so we have the comments like, yay, the first comment. Yeah. It's nice to have the audience feedback.
Yeah, for sure.
И уже 15 человек. Круто. Ребята, мы 17 человек. Мы ждем, пока присоединятся все остальные. Мы подождем еще 3 минутки и начнем общаться, обсуждать. Вот сегодняшняя тема, мы будем общаться про наш спикинг-клуб, вот, который мы вот открыли вместе, вот он тут, вместе с Мэттом. Доброго дня, Татьяна. Вот. Мы будем общаться о том, как учить английский, о мотивации, о всяком таком. Если у вас есть сейчас какие-то вопросы, можете написать в комментариях, и мы поговорим об этом, пока ждем всех остальных. Уже 20 человек. Очень радует, что люди заходят и даже ставят лайки. У нас есть лайк от Владимира, Надежды, Светланы и Татьяны. Класс. Yeah.
Okay. So how many people would you like to come in before?
I think we'll just will not be like about the people. We'll just wait like 3 minutes more, as we usually wait on our speaking clubs.
Okay.
Yeah, because not everybody are responding like right away when the live translation begins.
Sure.
Hi guys, hello from Odessa. Nice. We have some guys from Odessa on our speaking clubs.
Yeah.
Even from Moscow. So we're planning to make it like international. So you will have ability to talk with like Chinese people. We have an Indian guy. He is not from India. He lives in Kiev, but he was born in Delhi. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
the capital. And I love, Nadezhda, that you wrote it in English, because then we can speak English, and Matt
Yeah.
will understand. Yeah.
I will understand what you're saying. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, maybe we can start. Я немного расскажу на русском о нас, и первую часть мы пообщаемся на русском. В целом, вот я, вот Мэтт, мы вместе начали делать спикинг-клубы. Вообще, я начал это делать из-за того, что мне очень нравились завтраки, и мне не нравились тем, что я мог вставать рано с утра, потому что у меня было что делать. И я подумал, что бы такое я мог делать с утра, еще не проснувшись, и под чашечку кофе. И подумав пару дней, я пришел к мысли, что я уже давно общаюсь на английском, я около 20 лет учу английский, и мне не составляет никакого труда общаться на нем даже в полусонном состоянии. И я как-то начал это с друзьями. Мы сначала встречались по 3 человека, в нашей группе было там 10 человек. Потом мы дали небольшую рекламу в английский паблик, и вот мы нашлись с Мэттом, Мэтт присоединился к команде, и в нашей группе сейчас около 300 человек, и каждый день добавляется понемногу. Что мы делаем? Мы каждое утро в 8 часов и в 9 часов собираем зум-звонок. Мы сначала ждем всех, общаемся, грубо говоря, ждем, пока все остальные придут. Вот, потом мы разъединяемся на группки по 3 человека, и у нас такой импровизированный спикинг-клуб. Еще мы общаемся вечером, у нас есть, получается, завтраки и ужины. Вот, в целом это все. Спикинг-клубы – это достаточно простая вещь. Мы это делаем через Zoom, это все бесплатно на нашей инициативе. Вот, и не зависит от уровня английского, потому что вы можете, даже плохо зная английский, перевести что-то в Google переводчике и прочесть это вслух. Вот. Ребята, дайте какой-то фидбэк, может, появились какие-то вопросы, может, что-то интересно. Если нет вопросов, мы перейдем на часть с Мэттом на английском. Давайте я подожду комментарии. Если вы хотите, вы можете написать комментарий на английском, на русском, на украинском, на любом языке. Вот. И, кажется, комментариев нет. Okay, there were no comments. So we can talk about our breakfast, like in general. So you had what to say?
I'm not 100% what you said. Should I just describe it? Have you already described what we do?
Yeah, I described that we are meeting each other like every morning and evening at 8 at 9 o'clock, and also at 6:45, so that the guys that sleep have ability to join us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the guys that work, for example, if you're commuting to work, you will be able to join the speaking club at dinner time. So everybody has an option to start learning. And by the way, what's like Matt is a teacher. He was born in USA, and he moved to Kiev, and he's now teaching English. He's teaching English through Skyeng, and he's teaching English like he had offline lessons
Yeah.
before this quarantine started.
Would it be helpful for me to describe my work experience?
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah, I was born and raised in the U.S. I got a master's degree in education. Um, Originally, I was teaching secondary English. So when I was in the U.S., I was teaching literature, and then I decided to go abroad. So I went to China for what I thought would be only 1 year, and then that 1 year became 3 years, and then China became Ukraine. So then I came to Ukraine, where I've been working in an international school. So I don't specifically teach like ESL. I actually teach through the Cambridge program. So I teach English, math, science, but in my free time, I teach language more specifically.
Yeah.
The benefits of the breakfast English meetings to me is that the language is a lot more natural. So, for example, I really have to get on my children's case about maybe not declining something not declining something perfectly. Whereas I think the way people speak is often different. When I'm in conversation with somebody, I don't always use perfect grammar. And I don't think that means that I'm necessarily stupid. I think it's more of a sign of how people actually speak. And when you're in a conversation, in our conversation club, you get to see how people really talk. And I think it's just a much better way of learning the language and of really communicating. Yeah.
And by the way, how I began learning English, like from when I was 5 years old, my parents hired a teacher, and she was going to our home like every week, and I learned like alphabet, like the classical way of learning English, I would say. There is a question. Где вы выкладываете ссылку на Zoom-трансляцию или рассылаете по почте? Надежда, у нас есть телеграм-группа, я сейчас кину ссылочку, и там мы каждое утро выкладываем ссылочку на Zoom, и после того, как завтрак закончился, мы выкладываем также видеозаписи. У нас в этой группе есть в записи плейлист всех наших завтраков и ужинов со всеми темами. Вот.
One thing. Sorry, go on.
Yeah.
Oh no, one thing I think is really beneficial about these groups. Every day we have a different topic. And
different topic. Yeah.
We haven't actually discussed this, but I think it's really, really interesting how that works, because in a lot of ways, language is very specific to the situation that you're in. So obviously, I look Chinese, and when I lived in China, I often went to buy food, and it developed in such a way that I ordered food so often that I learned all the language to order food.
Yeah.
But really what happened was I could go to a restaurant and then order food and then walk out, and I realized those people think I speak Chinese. Those people think I'm Chinese. One cool thing about, among many cool things about our English breakfast, our English dinners, the topic is different every night. So people are getting practice speaking about, people are learning how to tell stories. People are giving their opinions on movies. They're sharing their hobbies. It's really a wide range of different topics, and I think that's quite beneficial as well.
Yeah. By the way, like from the teacher's side, what's the I would say, if I was a beginner, what's the best way to begin learning English? From my thought process is the best way is to have a teacher and also attend like speaking clubs. So you have for example, you have some homework that you check with your teacher, and you have your speaking club where you can use the new words you learned during the homework.
Yeah, I really do. So when I was getting my degree, they always told us the best way to learn a language was immersion. They talked about immersion. So somebody would just speak to you in a language, and because you were forced to learn it, you would eventually learn. That's what they always told me. But from my experience, for example, my parents are Filipino, and they would try to speak to me in Tagalog, our language, and I learned very, very little of it. I learned really what was important to me. I don't think just full-on immersion is as helpful as having an instructor when you're first learning the language, because well, I don't really have a reason. I feel like you learn to ignore what isn't important to you. So, if you're just beginning to learn English and people are speaking full paragraphs to you, you will just ignore them until you hear a word that you understand. So I think it's really useful to start off with a teacher who knows grammar and knows vocabulary, and is giving it to you in small bite-sized pieces, so that you can understand something, and then you can move on in difficulty. Does that make sense? And eventually, I think eventually you should move on to speaking clubs. I know that, like for example, for me in university, I learned French, and I knew how to get in through the lessons. But I don't think I really understood. I don't think it really clicked with me until I was in a situation where people only spoke French. And then I realized, oh my God, it's a language. Like people speak this all the time. And I was so amazed. I was like, I think the first time I had to speak to someone in French, I was in a metro station and I had to ask for help. And I just realized, like, wow, you speak this way all the time. You think in this language. And then it really motivated me. And I really think speaking is really important at some point.
Yeah, and also currently when we break out into rooms of three, there is not so much of recordings, but on our previous breakfasts, every video, and like now, but there was like 1 hour of content. Every video had some subtitles in English that you can read. You can read through what people were talking about, and we had like average 20-30 views per day, something like that. So people enjoyed it. So that's like watching a movie, but the movie is scripted. But here you can hear how the people are speaking in real life. Because in movies, when I tried to watch Godfather in original language, I was like amazed. Like it's like, oh my God, it's so complicated because they have their accents, then they mumble, so they don't really separate the words so much. Yeah, and what about watching movies with subtitles? What do you think about it? How does it like improve learning?
I think it's different from person to person. For me, for example, it doesn't really help me. Like I know I'll watch a movie where they're speaking English and then I'll put the subtitles in French. And I don't think I really learned anything that way. But I have met people who said, for example, that they learned English by listening to the Beatles, just by listening to the Beatles. So I think that in particular is, it really differs from person to person in that situation. If you're looking for ways to learn English, I've had students in the past who have had a lot of success playing video games in English. And I know that sounds absurd, but if a kid wants to play a video game and all the menus, for example, are in English and they have to learn English in order to play the game, they will learn faster than having a teacher give them a list of vocabulary, because that is boring.
That's a cool life hack for the parents. If they want their kids to learn English, just switch the language by default in their phone to English.
Yeah, I do think that's helpful. I've had parents come to me and say like, oh, I bet my son isn't doing so well because all he does is sit at home and play video games online. And I've told them, no, your son actually speaks English really well. Like they not only speak English they don't only know the vocabulary that I'm giving them. They know words for like guns and like tanks and stuff like that, and they they've really memorized it. So I do think that using English, not just reading it on a page, is really the best way to learn, from my experience.
Yeah, and I think the like starting to listen to people, then trying to know some word, like remember some words from the sentences they use, like it's the easiest and I would say the laziest way. Like it's easy to, yeah, like you can, for example, you can join the speaking club, because for example, with the online speaking clubs, there is no pressure that you need to talk. You can just sit there and listen. You just need to say, hey guys, I'm just listening. So, and nobody has a problem with you, and you just sit there and write new words that you can recognize, and so your brain begins to process the words in English. So you begin to understand like 1, 2, 3 words, like 5 words, something like that.
Another thing about our English breakfasts and dinners, I feel like, and I haven't discussed this with you yet, Sergey, but do you feel like there's a community forming?
Yeah.
I feel like I kind of know these people. I don't know. I know that sounds absurd, but I feel like I'm not old, but I'm a little bit older, and I feel like maybe I was a little skeptical about the idea of like making friends over the internet, maybe. But I feel like when somebody signs in, I'm always like, oh hey, what's up? Whatever your name is, like it's interesting because we've never actually. Well, I've never met anybody from English breakfasts or English dinners, and it's interesting that I'm learning enough about people where, like, if I see someone out, I can say like, "Where's your dog?" because I know you have a dog, or sometimes I'll see somebody and say, "Oh, I remember you say that you really like encouragement. You always just need to be told you're doing a good job." So I'll say like, "Good job," whatever your name is. And that is actually a really big benefit to these breakfasts, because it becomes part of your routine, and you start to see the same people over and over again.
Yeah. I also began like making friends with these guys, because for example, I know Natalie, she has a dog. I know what's the dog. I know when she goes with her dog for a walk. Also, like I know Victor, where he works. Like they're like, yeah. I think that's the thing that is naturally people want to connect, and if somebody doesn't know English, for example, or doesn't really know it too much, he has a motivation because this connection is forming, and he's feeling like, hey, I want to understand this person more. I want to empathize with him. I want to feel what he feels, to think what he thinks. Like that's the natural thing.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like last night we had a topic, like talk about a story from your childhood. Somebody suggested that.
Yep.
And I don't know, like a lot. At first, people started to tell stories that were more just silly or funny.
Yeah.
And over time, I think we have an expression in English, broke the seal. You broke the seal, like you opened something that was closed off.
Yeah.
I told the story about how I was fat as a kid, and I told the story of how I was really embarrassed about being fat, and then I cried one day in school, and then I think it kind of changed the tone, and then suddenly I think people started sharing a little more personal stories, and I felt like it was quite nice actually. Like I feel like when you meet somebody for the first time, you want to tell a funny story. And I feel the same way, actually. Like, because when you tell a funny story, you know exactly how the other person feels. Did they laugh or did they not laugh? And it's you want that feedback. But when people start telling more personal stories, there's really a connection forming. And I think it was kind of nice yesterday, actually.
Yeah, cool. And we have a tendency, for example, Oля from our speaking clubs, she is written like Oля P usually. She likes to dig deeper in the topics. We discuss like psychology, we discuss like the meaning of life or something. This is like a deep topics, and it's really a challenge for your vocabulary. So after the lesson, I had not so much of a challenge because I read Peterson a lot, and he has like a lot of vocabulary about the life goals, etc. But like in general, speaking about deep and touching topics is like motivate, like not motivates, gives you more energy to speak about something. Because, for example, you can't really speak 2 hours or 3 hours about weather. Like actually, like theoretically, yes, you can speak if you are two like guys that are weathermen, for example.
Right. You're super into weather.
Yeah, if you're super into weather.
Yeah.
So in general, you can talk a lot only about things that you're super into. And because we are choosing the topic like every day the topic is different, a person can have like not enlightenment, he can be motivated with the topic that he likes, and hey, now I will talk. Oh, and also about talking, we had guys and girls that didn't speak for 2 or 3 breakfasts. They were like checking us. They were like, hey, yes, I will just sit and listen, and what will they do? And only like after a couple of lessons, a couple of speaking clubs, they turned on their camera, they turned on the microphone and say, hey, I'm here, like I will speak.
Yeah,
there's something about comforting.
Yeah, there's actually another side to that. I don't know if it's okay to mention, but like if someone does a nice thing about having a speaking club online as opposed to in person, imagine you don't like the topic, you can leave the room and nobody can run after you or something like that. It's like if you're in university and the topic for some reason is boring to you or something, and you want to leave but you can't because you have to stand up in front of everybody. One advantage to having an online speaking club is if for some reason the topic isn't interesting for you. Like, I don't know if this has really happened, but like if someone were to decide today we're talking about, makeup, I'd be like, leave the room. Don't say anything to me. And it's nice, but it's there again tomorrow. It's not just there again tomorrow. It's there again tomorrow in the morning at 8, and then at 9, and then at 6:45 p.m. So it's quite nice. It's another pretty big advantage to these online speaking clubs.
Yeah. By the way, guys in chat, we have like 26 people watching us. It's cool that you like listening to us, like rambling about life, about topics. Maybe you have some questions. Может быть, у вас есть вопросы. Пишите их в комментарии, мы с удовольствием сделаем паузу и ответим на все вопросы, потому что это просто разговоры о жизни, мы общаемся о том, что у нас происходит на спикинг-клубах, какие есть плюсы, какие есть минусы. Вы можете писать, вот, к примеру, Надежда писала, где вы выкладываете ссылку на Zoom-трансляцию, или мы рассылаем по почте. Я ей сразу ответил в комментарии ссылочкой на нашу группу в Телеграме, где мы постим все анонсы, все новости. Вот, так что не стесняйтесь, задавайте вопросы, мы будем рады ответить. As in English, we can answer them in English, we can answer in Russian, because Matt actually doesn't know Russian a lot, so he's better off speaking English, and he understands English more fluently than Russian. So we can either I can answer you in Russian if you want. Just mention it in the comments that please answer in Russian. Or we can continue talking in English. That's not a problem. Yeah, with Matt, I feel that we can sit here for a couple of hours with Matt and just ramble about the life, because
Yeah.
we have, for sure, we have like one topic about Jordan Peterson that we love together. It's
Yeah.
a psychologist. Yeah, he's like an amazing man. You should check it out if you don't know him.
Yes. I do recommend it. I do recommend. Don't listen to the reputation, I suppose.
Yeah. So yeah, continuing about the breakfast and people that we have, like people attending with different levels of English, and everybody has its, I would say, place. By the way, a cool idea came to my mind. Maybe we can ask guys to include the level of their English in the name in the Zoom, so we can separate them into rooms with the language that fits them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that made it.
Sense. I think it would also be beneficial sometimes for lower level people to speak with higher level people who can help them out. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and by the way, we have like these ideas like coming up like every day. So we test like different formats. We test like things that, where can I join speaking club? Hi, Oksana. There is a link. I will share it again. Here's the link, Oksana. You can join our Telegram chat. And sorry, I just joined. Can you explain what you're talking about and how can I join you in Zoom? Yeah, answering Masha and Oksana. Thanks for the questions. By the way, I am glad that we have this feedback. So answering the question, we are making speaking clubs inside of the Zoom, and the links to the Zoom are posted in our Telegram chat. And the link to the Telegram chat I just posted like 2 times for below the Oksana's comment and below the Masha's comment. So we do it every day. So there is no, it's every day in the morning at 8 and at 9, and every day in the breakfast at 18:45. So same thing in Russian. У нас есть спикинг-клубы, мы их делаем через Zoom. Чтобы зайти на этот спикинг-клуб, вы присоединяйтесь к нашему чатику в Телеграме. Там каждый день есть анонсы с ссылочкой на Zoom. Мы проводим завтраки каждый день в 8 утра, потом в 9 утра, и есть вечерний ужин в 18:45, в 6:45 для тех, кто приходит после работы и хочет посидеть, поужинать, покушать вместе с нами. Вот так. So, yeah. And I think, yeah, I answered your question. If you have any other questions, Masha or Oksana, you can just type it in and I will answer it gladly. Thanks for your questions. Yeah, and what we were talking about different levels, and that we have many ideas and we test a lot of things. Because initially we were like gathering in groups of 10, and there was a problem that not many people could speak. We had like 3 or 4 persons, like 5 persons max, that are constantly speaking. And now we separate the groups to little rooms with 3 persons in each one, and they like loved this idea because they can constantly speak English. When you're in group of 3, there is not so much pressure about being like one-on-one, like private chat, and it's not too crowded. So too crowded is when it's more than 4 people or more than like 4 and more, because one person will be just sitting there and listening, and the 3 is like the ideal number. The person can leave, the person can mute, the person can do his stuff while two others are speaking. So I think we got the nice format for the English breakfast, and it was like a random idea.
And also, I think the more shy people, they don't want to talk in front of 10 other people, maybe.
Yeah, there's some kind of social pressure with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you were previously speaking about that there is like less social pressure than in actual offline speaking club, and I like 100% with you on that, because when you're joining Zoom, for example, you can turn off your camera, you can turn off your what's it called, microphone. Yeah, you can just leave if you want, and you can say hi, you can ignore it, you can like leave like English style when they don't say goodbye.
Yeah. Well, it's, at the breakfasts, there is very little pressure. You like, for example, I used to get there right when it started, turn off my camera, and then make breakfast, and then I could hear people talking behind me, so I could just say something if I wanted to.
Yep.
And that's very, very convenient.
Yeah, and actually, my idea and how this is like going on from day to day, I just wake up, turn on the laptop, turn on the breakfast English, and then I just cook my breakfast, and I can sit, listen to English, and eat. So it's really convenient. This way, I'm eating and doing something productive in the same way, in the same time. So like starting a morning with something productive, and you can even not speak, for example, just listening English in your morning can help you like understand English. Like I think that some people are having a goal, like they're underestimating the power of compound interest. Like when you do something like every day, it's compounding. It's like, and in month, for example, if you attend like every day in month, you have like 30 breakfasts. And you had 30 occasions of you listening to English or speaking like 2-3 words. That's enough for the starters.
Yeah, I do think there is value in just in doing it every day. Like if you guys have tried apps like Duolingo, I have one called Mondly. It'll actually message me and say like, "Why didn't you do your lesson today?" And I think it's because just having the repetition in every 24-hour cycle is helpful. It's really helpful.
Yep. That's for sure. Guys, maybe you have some questions?
I guess what we're doing isn't super complicated. Maybe it's understood already. But the benefits of it, I do think it's really beneficial to speak English when you're learning English. Gosh.
Maybe we can talk about like motivation of doing this stuff. So, for example, when you're learning your students, how do you feel they motivate themselves to? How many natives are there? I think 5 or 10 in the chat. We have like Masha. Yeah, we have a lot of natives there. I can't really say the exact number because we have like 300 people there. But in general, on breakfast and on dinners, there may be like on occasions natives are joining us. For example, Matt is a native and he hosts dinner every day. So you have a native on dinner every day. Also, we had a guy from the army, from the US Army.
Yeah, what is that guy's name? Lawrence? Is his name Lawrence?
Yeah, I think Lawrence. So
yeah,
he was
and
a
he's
native.
living in Lviv. Yeah. He'll join on occasion as well. He's from India. I don't know if that makes him a native speaker. He says he spoke English at home while he was in Delhi, so maybe that's native. And there's that other guy, I forget. He showed up. Andrew, I think his name was Andrew. He's a native as well.
Yeah, and there is like a strange thing about like wanting a native, for example, on a speaking club, because there are people that know English better, and for example, using for work, there is no benefit in having a native versus a person that just knows English well. That's it. But there is like a plus that they have like less of an accent, for example, and they can, for example, if we will have like a Texas native speaker, he will have a really bad, what's it called?
Pronunciation?
Yeah, pronunciation. Or for example, Scottish people. It would be really funny to have a Scottish native person. I would attend this breakfast like every day if there will be a Scottish person.
Well, I can make that happen and make everyone sound like Shrek.
Yeah,
That's my favorite accent,
yeah, the pronunciation is actually horrible. They have like no offense to the Scottish people, but I think they're really proud about that they have the different accent than the English speakers in London, for example.
Oh, for
I
sure.
think that it's some kind of I don't know the English for it's kolorit in Russian. It's like a national thing to do. For example, in Ukraine we have borscht. In Scotland they have their accent.
Is there a word for that? Like not artifact. It's like a cultural milestone, cultural. What do you say? Signature.
Yeah, something like a signature. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Like,
everybody knows about you.
Yeah. Scandinavians have like hygge.
Hygge. Oh, I know that there are like languages that there are sounds that they don't really pronounce, but they write them. So, for example, Swedish, I think there's ä or u, something like that. Three sounds that are written but really are not so pronounced, I think.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah, more about English breakfasts. I don't
Yep.
know. I quite like it actually. It's very relaxed. It's exactly as easy or as difficult as you want it to be. Like if you find yourself so into the topic, you can decide, yeah, I'm going to be very in depth on this topic today. Or if it's something that you prefer to listen to than speak on, you can just listen, and I think it's very helpful. I mean, if you're going to those speaking clubs like in person, you don't really know what you're going to get, and then you're stuck there for an hour. You're like there,
Yeah.
you can't get out.
and here you can just choose the topic you like, and
Yeah.
and if the topic is not yours, you can just quit and join the tomorrow's one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and continuing the talk about the motivation. What do you think motivates your students?
Well, it's a little bit different for them. I think it's really about grades, and then, it's the classroom. Kids want to know who's better than other kids. For adults, I think a lot of adults have their own individual motivations, really. Maybe they traveled or something like that. Are you asking me how to keep oneself motivated?
Yeah, I think more that, for example, you need to have some kind of a motivation to get up every day for the breakfast, because we have people that come like every day. They're like a usual attendees of the breakfasts and dinners, and what they said that their motivation is they energize on this breakfast. They have like a comforting environment where they can speak and share their thoughts, and this gives them energy. So their motivation is their like energy that they have from this. But if we're talking about motivation about learning English, if somebody doesn't really know it so well.
Mm-hmm.
What? Yeah.
No. I feel like, I don't know, they have to have some level of motivation to come to the breakfast in the first place, right? So they probably have their own individual motivation. I do know that I think people were saying it motivates them to wake up at that time. So I think I can think of one person. Is it okay to say people's names? I don't know.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay, so I think Igor said, like, if he didn't have English breakfast, he'd probably get up at like 11 or 12. I think Igor said that. Like, it's his reason to get up early in the morning, and then he feels more productive. And I do agree with that. It's good to have something that you do early in the morning.
Yeah, that's the thing that brought me here. Like,
yeah.
I wanted to wake up earlier in the morning because I'm such a lazy person. I could sleep like till 12 or till 11, like basically till the first meeting. If the first meeting is at 11, I will wake up at 10, prepare myself, have a breakfast, and then have a meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also feel like going to these English breakfasts or dinners is something you can tell your friends you did as well. It has kind of like cultural value. Like, I speak English every morning, guys. Like, people who like to brag that I don't know. Look at me, I went to the opera. Even all you did at the opera was take a selfie and leave. Like, if you go to the English breakfast, it's kind of cool, I think, to be able to say that you did that. Like, I practiced English this morning at 8 a.m. No big deal. I spoke English for an hour.
Yeah, and like if you do it regularly, that's like a challenge. Like there are challenge applications that give you like some kind of a rewards.
Yeah.
Like Nike application. So you can give yourself a reward if you don't skip the breakfast like every day, and then you have like a 7-day streak, like 8-day streak, month streak.
Yeah. And it fits in really well with preparing breakfast, thank goodness.
Yeah, because you can just turn off your camera and just talk while you prepare the breakfast.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, guys in the chat, we will be wrapping up, so closing the live stream because we are already speaking for about 50 minutes.
Yes.
Maybe let's have an open question and answers, Q&A, ответы на вопросы. Пока мы здесь, пишите вопросы любые в комментарии под этим видео. Мы ответим. Please write the comments while we are here. I think we will, like, for 3-5 minutes, we will answer for the questions. If there are a lot of questions, we can answer them like full 10 minutes. If there will be none, we will just wrap this up in 2 minutes. Yeah. So, any question, guys? By the way, thanks, Svetlana, Tatiana, Nadezhda, Ludmila, Oksana, Masha, for your questions. That's cool that you're engaging with us. You're leaving the comments. You're interested. We'll be glad if you join our breakfasts and to see you, to talk with you in the morning or in the dinner, as the time, like, as you can.
Yeah. At your convenience.
At your convenience. And by the way, like, you see me. Посилання на ранкову трансляцію. Yeah, there is. Here is the Telegram group. Так, посилання буде, Тетяна. Я запостив лінку до нашого телеграм-спільноти, телеграм-чату. Там ми кожного ранку постимо лінку на Zoom звонок. Вот. И плюс там еще есть объявление. Can you repeat what the time for dinner meeting? Dinner meeting, I will write it actually. So Завтрак 8:00 до 9:00. The breakfast is till like 7, yeah. Till
Breakfast is it 7 to 8 or is it 8 to 9?
7 to 8, yeah, till 12. Yeah, I posted the times for Masha, and to repeat it live. So we have first breakfast. The early breakfast is from 8 in the morning till 9 in the morning. Then there is a late breakfast. It's from 9 in the morning till 10 in the morning. Thank bunches. Thanks for commenting. And thank you for
actually,
being on the. Yep.
I do dinner for an hour, so sorry. I gotta get out by 7:45.
Yeah, 7:45.
Yeah.
Can I change it? No. I can delete it.
Oh, you'll find out.
Oh, I somehow made it like an advertisement. Cool. So we have breakfast till 7:45. So the speaking clubs are like 1 hour. And usually how this hour goes, we have 15 minutes that we wait for everybody. Then we have 30 minutes conversation, and then we have 15 minutes again, like we are making a conversation. Hi, Allah. I think you, if you have any questions right now, you can just write them, because we will be closing this live translation about a couple of minutes. Also, you can watch it on the page of EduHub with a recording, so you can watch the recording. But if you have any questions right now, you can just post it and we will answer. Cool.
All right.
Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, and I was talking about that I have from time to time I have like some pauses, some I don't know some words, and that's like perfectly fine. There are times when on our breakfast somebody just says, "Hey, that's what's the English for," and says the word in Russian, and we just help him out. That's perfectly fine. And also life hack, a way, if you don't know English too well, you can use Google Translate. You can for the starters, for example, if you want to have a big thought or big sentence, and just read it out, so you will begin speaking English, begin trying. So the first and the most, I would say, the most important thing is to start to do something, like start listening in English, start trying to speak like simple sentences. Then you can handle sentences that are a little bit more complex, for example. But the main thing like is just to start. That's it's so easy, because I think there are mostly people overcomplicate the stuff to have an excuse not to do that. For example, like if you want to start learning English, just like hire a teacher. If you don't have money, there are free YouTube courses. By the way, we made a list of free YouTube courses and shared it in our group someday. So you can find the free courses in YouTube. You can have like you can attend these free courses and attend the breakfasts, for example. Yeah, and it will be like free stuff, because I think nowadays there is so much information, like free information, that you can learn anything like for free.
Yeah. Yeah, I've
I
thought of
think that, yeah, the one thing that people pay for is like external motivation. Like if you have no motivation yourself, you just pay the teacher that motivates you. That's it.
for a while though. That's when I first came here. I wanted to learn Russian, and I was paying somebody to teach me. But really, what I needed from her was just I needed her to shout at me when I wasn't studying.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what I needed, because there really is enough out there for free. But I think what it was is that I just I paid her at the beginning of the month, and I felt like, well, I better go see her now because she has my money, so I better get my money's worth. So yeah, I think really motivation is really what you need in order to learn, because everything that you really everything else is already out there and accessible.
Yeah. So with this thought, with this my pronunciation, with this thought in mind, let's finish our translation. Finish our live cast. So I will again share the link. This is the link to our Telegram chat. Actually, we will have the dinner today at 6:45. So you can go to the Telegram chat, join the Telegram chat, and at 6:45 there will be a link to the dinner, and you can join it and make your first step in learning English.
There you go.
There you go.
Well stated.
Okay, then thanks for you. Thanks for like 20 people that were watching us. Thanks for your time that you listened to us. That's really valuable. And thanks for Matt that he had this time together with me.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun. We had a nice conversation.
Can you believe we talked for like an hour without any questions?
Yeah, that was a nice talk.
Yeah, it was good. All right.
Yeah, cool. Okay, then see you on dinner and breakfast, guys.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.